Lamberto Vera Avellana was a prominent Filipino film and stage director. Despite considerable budgetary limitations that hampered the post-war Filipino film industry, Avellana's films such as Anak Dalita and Badjao attained international. On March 27, 1976, Lamberto Vera Avellana was conferred the National Artist Award for Film and Theater. His contribution, Avellana is a director for theater and film, has the distinction of being called the boy wonder of Philippine movies. As early as 1939, he was the first to use the motion picture camera to establish a point of view, a move that revolutionized the techniques of film narration. Here are some of his artwork. The Anak Dalita, Sergeant Hassan, Destination of Vietnam. Catalino Ortiz Broca was a Filipino film director. He is widely regarded as one of the most influential and significant filmmakers in the history of Philippine cinema. For his contribution, Catalino Lino Ortiz Broca, director for film and broadcast arts, espoused the term freedom of expression in the Philippine Constitution in 1983. Broca created the organization Concerned Artists of the Philippines, which he held for 2 years. His stance was that artists were first and foremost citizens and such as must address the issue confronting the country. Here are some of his artworks. Maynila, Tinimbang Kangunit Kulang, Insyang.
Ronald Allen Kelly Pope, popular known as Fernando Poe Jr. He was a cultural icon of tremendous audience impact and cinema artist and craftsman as actor, director, writer, and producer. He won Best Director for his films Ang Padrino in 1984 and Kahit Butas ng Karayom Papasukin Ko in 1995. In 2004, FAMAS posthumously granted him the natatanging alagad ng Sining Award. Here are some of his artworks: Asedilo, Mga Alabok sa Lupa, and Ang Padrino.
Eric Otieza Digea, better known as Kidlat Tahimik, is a film director, writer, and actor whose films are commonly associated with the Third Cinema Movement through their critiques of neo-colonialism. For his contribution to the development of Philippine independent cinema, he was recognized in 2018 as a National Artist of the Philippines, which represents the Philippine state highest recognition for artists. Here are some of his artworks. Why is the Yellow the Middle of the Rainbow? Turumba, Balikbayan.
Edgar Cinco Romero, commonly known as Eddie Romero. He was a Filipino film director, film producer, and screenwriter. Quintessential Filipino filmmaker whose life is devoted to the art and commerce of cinema, with a body of work spanning 3 generations of filmmakers. For his contribution, Romero was awarded the National Artist Award by the Philippine government for his contribution to the Philippine cinema and broadcast arts. In 2004, he was also awarded the Cine Manila Lifetime Achievement Award. His films are Ganito Kami Noon, Paano Kayo Ngayon, Agila, Kamakalawa, and Banta ng Kahapon.
Ishmael Bernal was a Filipino filmmaker, stage and television director, actor, and screenwriter, noted for his melodramas, particularly with feminist and moral issues. He directed many landmark Filipino films such as Nunal sa Tubig, City After Dark, Relasyon, Himala, and Hinugot sa Langit. For his contribution, critics have hailed him as the genius of Philippine cinema. He is recognized as a director of films that serve as social commentaries and bold reflection on the existing realities of the struggle of the Filipino. His art extends beyond the confines of aesthetics. Here are some of his artworks. Himala, Pahiram ng Isang Umaga, Broken Marriage.
Gerardo de Leon was a Filipino film director and actor. For his contribution, he directed dozens of movies in almost every genre over the next 30-odd years. Among them, Bahay Kubo, a musical acclaimed adaptation of Filipino anti-colonialist martyr Jose Rizal novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. Antique action fantasy programmer Sandawong, which was co-produced with Hong Kong's Vistan Chapman Studio, and the only director to have won famous Best Director in 3 consecutive years, 1961, 1962, and 1963. Here are some of his artworks: Brides of Blood, El Filibusterismo, and Noli Me Tangere. Manuel Conde was a Filipino actor, director, and producer. As an actor, he also used the screen name Juan Urbano during the 1930s aside from his more popular screen name. His contribution through the more than 40 films he created from 1940 to 1963, Manuel Conde contributed in no small measure to the indigenization of the cinema, specifically by assigning it a history and culture for its own, by revitalizing folk culture with urgent issues, fresh themes and new techniques, by depicting and critiquing. Here are some of his artworks: Siete Infantes de Lara, Si Juan Tamad, and Ibong Adarna.
Salvador F. Bernal was an artist from the Philippines. Bernal's career began in 1969. His output included over 300 productions in art, film, and music, and earned him the award of National Artist for the Theater and Design in 2003. For his contribution, acknowledged as the father of theater design in the Philippines, Bernal was instrumental in elevating theater and production design as a fine arts and profession. One of his artwork is Badong.
Montano was a playwright, director, actor, and theater organizer with the output of novel, 150 poems, and 50 plays in his 65 years lifetime. Through the foundation of the Arena Theater, Montano institutionalized legitimate theater in the Philippines. Contribution: he established the graduate program at the Philippines Normal College for the training of playwright, director, technician, actor, and designer. He also established an Arena Theater playwriting contest that led to the discovery of Wilfredo Noledo, Jesus T. Peralta, and Estrella Alfonso. Artwork of Severino Montano, The Love of Leonor Rivera. Rolando Estino. Rolando Santos Tino was a Filipino poet, dramatist, director, actor, critic, essayist, and educator. Contribution: Tino was known for translating Western classic, which includes the work of Sophocles, Shakespeare's, Ibsen, Shakespeare, Puccini, and Verdi in Tagalog. He did this translation in order to advance the Filipino language. The artwork of Rolando Estino, Ang Trahedya ni na Romeo at Juliet, Sit-sit sa Kuliglig, Ang Larawan.
Si Avellana was a Filipino stage actress and theater director. Avellana was honored as a National Artist of the Philippines for Theater and Film in 1999. Avellana was born Desiho Tiveros on January 26, 1917 in Capiz. Contribution: together with her husband, national artist Lamberto Avellana, and other artists, she co-founded the Barangay Theater Guild in 1939, which saved the way for the popularization of theater and dramatic arts in the country, utilizing radio and television. Na artworks: Walang Sugat 1971, Diego Silang 1968. Erto V. Avellana. Avellana is also director for theater and film, has the destination of being called the boy wonder of the Philippine movies. As early as 1939, he was the first to use the motion picture camera to establish a point of view, a move that revolutionized the techniques of film narration. Together with B.C. Hontiveros, star of many UP plays, and his future future wife, he formed the Barangay Theater Guild, which had among others Lea Manuel Guerrero and Raul Manglapus as members. Avellana was awarded the title National Artist of the Philippines for Theater and Film in 1976. Lamberto Artworks, Inday 1940, Sakay 1939, Rosalinda 1941. Fredo Maria Guerrero was a Filipino playwright, director, teacher, and theater artist. He wrote over 100 plays, 41 of which have been published. His unpublished plays have either been broadcast on the radio or staged in various parts of the Philippines. In 1947, he was appointed as UP Dramatic Club Director and served for 16 years as founder and artistic director of UP Mobile Theater. He pioneered the concept of theater campus tour and delivered no less than 2,500 performances in a span of 19 committed years of service. Fredo Artworks, Ermita Quarter, Wanted a Chepron, Adarna. Tota Del Rama, commonly known as Atang Del Rama, was a singer and vaudeville performer who became the first Filipina film actress. Contribution: De La Rama was instrumental in the popularization of Tagalog song repertory across these different entertainment platforms. She activated voice and image to play a central role in creating a Filipina femininity in the 1920s that challenged expectation of women's work as solely devoted to home and family life. Ang works, Mahiwagang Binibinit, Dalagang Bukid.
Amelia La Peña Bonifacio Reyes. Amelia Lirag La Peña Bonifacio was a Filipino playwright, puppeteer, and educator known as the Grande Dame of Southeast Asian Children Theater. In 1977, she founded a children theater troupe, Teatrong Mulat ng Pilipinas, the official theater company and puppetry troupe of the University of the Philippines. Contribution: Bonifacio is often called the Grande Dame of Southeast Asian Children's Theater for her contribution to children's theater. According to her profile at the University of the Philippines website, she has written 10 books, 16 plays, 30 children's plays, and more than 130 short stories for children. Artwork of La Meña, Pamana ni Lola Amel. Call for writers, Puppet Passion.